Okay, so I flipped the view. So here's my little soil pit. So I got this down 32 inches, and I know that you're not going to be able to see this very well. You know, this is just a little pit. You got to stick your head down in there and use a flashlight to really get a view for what's going on. But I got these little samples off to the side, so I'll show you. But there's a pretty clear, distinct boundary here at the 11 inches. So this is definitely an A1 horizon. You could probably say maybe put an AP horizon here at about 6 inches, because you can see kind of a structural change at that point. Anyway, so 0 to 11 is definitely one horizon. And then we go from 11 inches down here to 17 inches. So I'm going to try to get the video down in there to show that a little better. So you can see we're down here at 17, and we have a distinct change there. I don't know if you guys can kind of see that. So I'll start back up here. So as we come down, this is pretty dark, down to 11, and then we have a transition. It's pretty abrupt, actually, and it's a color change. And then when we get down here past 17, okay, then we have another change. Now that one, not so much a color change, it's a texture change. Definite texture change. And then this goes all the way down to about 32, like I said. And again, down here at 25, we see another change. It's another textural change. So the colors changes aren't that great after the A horizon, but I collected little doggy turds of each one of them. So right there, I'll try not to shade this. So that's our A horizon. Okay, and this is going into a B. So this is a B1. The difference here now, as we move down into the next, that would still be part of the B horizon. So this is there is some change in texture here to here, but the biggest change in texture is from this third to the fourth layer. Let me make sure I'm telling you right. No, there's a big change in texture here. So this all material, is over towards the sandy loam. I think the texture that some of you guys got in the lab, it was sandy clay loam for that A horizon. But this is getting sandier as we go down. And the change in color is pretty subtle. It's not a huge change. Now, when we get down to this last one here, now I cheated a little bit on this because I went to another part of the farm where we have a little cut, and I got this. So this represents the parent material, and you can see this is a little drier than those others, but there's not near as much loamy material in here. There's some, I haven't textured this, but it is loamy, but primarily sand. So this is probably a sandy loamy sand for sure. And there's a mix. Particle size is pretty mixed in this material, whereas up here this is much coarser. And then this goes back to for this lower, below 25, this goes back to being a little bit loamier again, and then also the sand size is more mixed in this. So again, we see here's a zone where we have coarser sand. So we don't know for sure if that coarser sand is a difference from outwash, which I suspect. And then we built up and built these soils over time as we had plants growing in them, accumulating organic matter in that top 11 inches. That organic matter abruptly ends. You can see how much clay is on this by how I'm able to work it in that second horizon. So we definitely have some clay accumulations here. Okay, so this would be a B1T. This would probably, this one has less clay, still good clay in it, but less clay. And then this has even less. And we pick up the coarseness in sand as we move down until this material here. Now in this particular spot, I'm not sure how deep this is, but this is probably, this layer from 25 inches probably doesn't change too much all the way through to this layer. And when you see this change, it depends where you're at on the farm, but the change to this material is like 4 feet, 50 inches down, or even a little bit more, 40, sometimes like to 70 inches deep before you get into this original parent material. And then other parts of the farm are similar to this, but in the wooded areas and the swampy areas, there's a definite like O horizon above this, and this 0 to 11 inches can vary. Sometimes it's as much as like almost 20 inches in the low spots, and I'm pretty sure a lot of that depth is from some erosion, that material accumulating there even more. So that's kind of what we have. You can see that we have varying clay amounts. So we've moved clay down. We have organic matter accumulation in the A horizon and these different B horizons. We have slight contrast. So we've had translocated clays. So this has the most clay, this first B horizon of any of the B horizons. So this one, I know you can't feel it, but you can tell it. If you handle it, you definitely can tell it has less clay. And also when you get down to the nitty gritty where you're feeling between your fingers like this, you can tell this sand is definitely coarser. This is a much coarser sand than this horizon over there. And this one is kind of intermediate. So in terms of the sand, so this is more mixed. So this is fine sand. This is a coarser sand, and then this is like mixed. So it's coarse and fine, a lot wider sand particle size change. And then, when you look at the horizon, especially if we had a big pit where you could definitely step back and look, you can see that these have definite boundaries. Where they're up like this, and I've already sampled them and handled them, you don't see kind of the fabric of the soil profile as much. So they kind of just look the same when you pull them out here. Color wise, this one picks up a little more red. These two are pretty much the same color. Again, you just see the difference, and when you sample it and handle it, you can see that difference is less clay, and the sand is much coarser than this. This is like a fine sand. This is a medium coarse sand. And then this one here, this one has a good deal of clay in it too. So this is overall, this clay and this clay content's probably about the same. But this one's got a little bit of depletion. So we got kind of depletion of clay here and accumulation here. And we have feels like some depletion of clay here, and also we have either depletion or concentration of coarser sands in this one, and then finer or more mixed sands, I should say. So it's possible that we also move some of these fine sands into this underlying layer. We don't know that. I mean, there's ways of telling that if you actually texture them out and get sand size distribution, then you can kind of tell. It's what we call reconstruction analysis. We can tell if the sands moved or just the clays have moved by comparing different ratios. And then again, what you see underneath this is a mixed. There's like inclusions of clay in it. It's very sandy. There's chunks of gravel of various sizes. Here's some fine gravel pieces. There's bigger stone in this too, of course, up to maybe sometimes some 3/4 stone. But most of the gravel is this finer gravel that's indicated by, like by these two particles here, right there.